Hey family, it's Tosh Mamabear Prepping. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel where we just talk about preparedness, different things we do, different things me and my family do, and then hopefully that helps you with you and yours. So let's get into it. Today it's just a very, very simple video. You know, we've been doing a lot of different things around the household, getting ready to move, that type of thing. And just, I use a product all the time, and I just wanted to share it and make sure that everybody's covering down on this. Now, you've probably heard of this thing, but this is a preparedness item that I absolutely love, and use all the time. And I'm going to be talking about that one, and I'm also going to be talking probably about 3 other various preparedness items that we buy all the time, that we use all the time, that go well with this product. So the product at hand that I want to discuss that I think is a must-have for every single household is a tarp, or tarps actually. So I love a good tarp. I love different sizes of tarps, smalls, mediums, large, extra large, right? And we use them for all types of things, various things, animals, animal enclosures, you know, blocking off an area for animals, covering animals, you know, wind protection, weather protection. We use them for laying down in the bed of a truck before you put something in it to protect the bed. You could use it to cover stuff that you're trying to haul in the bed of a truck that you could cover. You can use it for shelter, obviously, throw it over a branch, throw it over some string. You've got some shelter. Shelter-wise, you can use it underneath you as well to help shelter you from the ground, from maybe wet ground, cold ground. So as an insulator, I use them all the time to throw down before I bring home loads of dirt or gravel, pea gravel, large rocks, river rocks, bark, whatever it is we're bringing home. I'll throw that down on the ground before. Makes it easier for shoveling up, especially when you get to the last little bit. And also to move it is much easier when it's on a piece of tarp. Again, you can use the same tarp to cover the said items that are maybe outside exposed to weather that you can cover. What else? I've used them to lay down. So before we were going to move and we wanted to transfer stuff to the garage, I've used it to lay down first, then put the boxes down on that. Then you can cover it as well with tarp. Obviously you can use it to cover windows. If something is broke, a window's broke, right? You need to throw something up. If there's a roof, you know, something happens on the roof, a tree falls, any kind of leakage, easy to throw up. Same with a car window, shade, so you can throw them up over a garden or over another area that you want to shade. I mean, they are just an amazing product that I can't stress how many times I've used, and there's never a tarp just laying around in a package that's not being used. We use them over and over because they're durable plastic. They're easy to wash off. So if you get them dirty, get something on them, they're very easy to rinse off, wash off, and get brand new again. They're good for outside if you had to do some sort of outdoor shower setup, some sort of outdoor bathroom setup, and you want a privacy, and again, something that could be kept clean, right? Sanitation wise. It's a must-have in the preparedness world. When you talk about having a homestead, being self-sufficient, being ready for anything that could happen, a tarp is super important. Now, there's 3 other things that I think you should definitely make sure that you have in your preparedness stockpile if you do not have already, and they kind of all go in line with the tarp, and that is duct tape. Duct tape, baby, is a must-have, can be used on all types of things, products, projects, saving the day with a piece of sticky, I mean, it's just super adhesive sticky tape that works well for all types of situations, but it's good because it's so strong that you could use it with tarp to hold down a tarp, hold together something. I laugh all the time because I watch the show Naked and Afraid, and the contestants are allowed to bring one survival item. And typically they're bringing, you know, machete, a knife of some sort, you know, saw type thing. They're bringing a, you know, something to boil water in, like a pot, or they're bringing a fire starter, or they're bringing, you know, fishing line. I don't know, but they're usually bringing something that you think like, oh, that's survival. And sometimes people bring duct tape. Like, that's what their thing is. Their item is a roll of duct tape, but you're kind of like, okay, of all the things you could bring to survive, like you didn't want a fire starter, you wanted some duct tape. But it's so ingenious, the things that these people use this duct tape for. and their partner is always, pleasantly surprised, and usually thankful that the person ended up bringing the duct tape, because it can be used for so many different things. They make clothes, they make shoes, they make mats, they make, it's sticky, they're using it to help in their shelter, all types of things, right? And so it does have a purpose, it does have a use, and I absolutely love it, and it absolutely has to be in my preparedness items, and lots of it. So duct tape. Next thing is rope. Rope can be used for all types of stuff, tying up dead bodies, doing a clothing line. Kidding about the dead bodies. But clothing lines, tying down things. I use rope a lot in my manipulation of plants. So right now, when I go somewhere and I see a mature bush, let's say, and it's too wide, its stance is taking up too much growing space, if you will. What I've been doing lately is, when it's time for the plant to die back, I've been letting it die back, and then I've been pruning it aggressively, and then I've been manipulating them up, and I've been wrapping them with rope. And then in the springtime, when they come back, I did this with a bunch of hydrangeas. Now it's like a tower of hydrangeas versus a big expanse across the bottom, just taking up all this growing space, where now I can grow other stuff. But I'm playing around a lot with vertical growing, and so that's one of the ways that I'm doing it. But rope again goes good with the tarp when you're tying it down to whatever, the house, a car, a truck, whatever. Rope, super important. And then the last thing that I use a lot of, and I typically will use it oftentimes with tarps, and that is zip ties. I'm a huge fan of zip ties. I'm sure people are like, wow, your construction game is on point, duct tape, rope, and zip ties. Yes, baby. Like, I could do anything with those things. Those are MacGyver type skills that you got to have to be able to do anything with that. So moving forward in the future, we joke about, having to do stuff yourself, and that nobody's coming to help you. And I'm telling you, when you're doing it yourself and you're at home and you're trying to do little fix-it things and fix things, and if we're ever, unfortunately in the future in a situation where you can't just order things, or you can't just order the service to have somebody else come out and fix something, and you have to do it yourself, or you have to do it with whatever you have, having those help me fix it type things like zip ties and duct tape, those things are very helpful, right? We have a fence that's just a basic fence that opens, and it always just wants to open. It's just a simple latch type thing, and we put a big chain on it, but once in a while we don't have the big chain on it, because we're going in and out of it quite a bit, right? Over and over, maybe several days in a row. And so we'll leave the chain off. Well, it just wants to swing open the way that it's built, right? And so we'll zip tie it just to keep it in a temporary closed situation without having to do the whole big chain on it, right? Because we're going back and forth. So super helpful. We did the chicken run. It came with a bunch of, the big metal chicken run, over cylinder chicken run that we bought to go over the chicken coop. It came with a bunch of zip ties, but they were just little tiny cheap zip ties. And so we had used our own zip ties. And so we joke that we have like 1,500 zip ties on our chicken run. And who does that? Like, you're just building with zip ties. But I'm telling you right now, you can't go wrong with a good zip tie. I use zip ties all the time in the garden. Zip tying a branch back, a bush back, moving and manipulating stuff all the time. Whatever it is, zip ties are amazing. Super windy here. And so you have things that are just hooked outside or hooked on stuff. I'll zip tie it, and then now I don't have to worry about it coming off of a hook or something flying off of something because of the wind, right? Whether that's a planter, whether that's, whatever it is, right? But I use zip ties all of the time. Absolutely a huge fan of them. And again, you can get them in all types of different sizes, and they're fairly, I'm not gonna say they're cheap, but they're not expensive either, right? So you can go to Home Depot, and you can get zip ties super that are really wide and super long, all the way down to, little ones. Cords, safety wise, zip tying up cords behind the TV or behind some electronics. I mean, they're just super handy. Okay. So those are my preparedness items today. They're kind of fall under, household maintenance type, fix it, do it yourself type preps, but I think that they are no-brainers and must-haves. You've got to have this stuff. Even if you live in an apartment, you're like, look, just in reality, I'm not going to really be using a tarp. I'm not really going to be using zip ties and stuff, because you don't have a home where stuff is breaking and stuff is, you know, you're just going through life and you have, you know, all the examples I just used of using it, right? You're like, well, that doesn't really apply to me. Please, 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 please get this stuff. Get you a little tote and start a home maintenance, you know, preparedness stuff, and get you a few tarps. Get you 2 or 3 tarps, decent sized tarps. Then you don't have to go and get humongous ones, right? Because you live in an apartment, but you do not know when that is going to come in handy. You should have, in my opinion, some sort of sheltering, quick sheltering thing in your bug out bags, get home bags, your car kits anyway, and a tarp is an easy way to get that done, okay? Because you can use it to sleep on, you can use it to cover you, you can use it for a lot of different things. And then duct tape, put some get you, you know, a 4-pack of just 4, you know, whatever, but get some stuff, okay? You're gonna use this stuff. Get you some zip ties, get you some rope. You never know when you're going to need this stuff for various situations in life. I mean, rope, heavy duty rope is good to have in your car in case you had to pull somebody out, you needed to be pulled out of a ditch or out of somewhere and you needed some heavy duty rope. There's just a lot of reasons why a lot of this stuff would come in handy, okay? And so it's good to have this stuff in your car kit, in your bug out bags, in your you know, I'm not saying you need a roll of duct tape in your go bag, right? Or your get home bag, but certain things I would have a tarp, unless you have some sort of other thing that it kind of is like a tarp, then it's needed, okay? So make sure that you get that stuff and make sure you have it at home in your preparedness items, no matter where you live. I think that in the future, these things could be needed, all right? So I hope you guys are well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this little small, you know, I probably won't get that many views, right? But for those of you that appreciate it, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.